For some perspective on the unfolding unrest in Egypt, I'm joined live by Lawrence Freeman from the Executive Intelligence Review. Thanks for joining us here on RT. So Mohamed Morsi, for his part, gave a recorded speech where he says he's still the president and he wants to cling to power. What do you think makes him confident, is he confident, that he can still maintain control?
I don't think he cannot maintain control. In fact, nobody can maintain control right now. You have a spirit of the people that started back in the early part of 2011. It's continuing. And the demands of the people for a better living condition, for a better future, have not been met. And they're going to continue to rise up until we make some progress in that area. So Morsi is not going to be able to control the situation, but the future of Egypt still depends on real political leadership with a vision for the future of Egypt and its economic development.
In your perspective, where do you think that leadership could come from?
Well, I don't know. We know that we're in a different world situation than we've ever been in before, that the current dominant Western financial system from Europe and the United States is collapsing, that European countries are being destroyed by this economic bankers dictatorship, that Obama backed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood. And so these demonstrations were in a part an attack on Obama's leadership, and some of the signs carried in demonstrations made that clear. So you have the current Western world order right now is under attack, and we have to come forward, as we're doing here in the U.S. and other countries, with a vision for the future, and that it really requires a new economic policy, a policy of development that meets the needs of the people.
But I'm trying to push away a little bit from just the global picture. And in Egypt, what Egyptian leader is there? Is it, say, Mohamed al-Baradei, for instance, who will be able to bring the diverse groups together there?
I don't know. I don't know if the leadership there is going to emerge. I don't know what the policy is. Clearly, the people are demanding justice. They're demanding their rights. They're demanding a future for themselves and their children. So whatever leadership emerges, it's going to have to meet those demands. Otherwise, it too will be swept away, as we've seen Morsi has been swept away.
Do you think this indicates a failure of Egypt's political system?
Well, it indicates two things. I mean, one is that the Morsi's policies were no good. And in fact, during this entire period, the Egyptian people's economic condition got worse. And if you look at what the West was trying to shove down their throats, which was a new IMF conditionality program, that wasn't going to work either. You can't take people who are living poorly and take away their subsidies for fuel and food. So one is the economic condition continued to worsen, as it has globally. Two is that the Muslim Brotherhood is not developing an orientation for development of the people, and we've seen this throughout the Muslim Brotherhood, throughout the whole region. And three is the United States is supporting the policy of the Muslim Brotherhood and Morsi, which was not in the interest of the people.
Now, the army has pledged that they won't take over the country, but that they will install a kind of a transitional government. Do you think that that will actually play out, or do you think they'll need to maintain control for a longer time than that?
I think the situation is extremely fluid. I think that the fact that the army is coming in is a recognition of how bad and how serious the situation is, because it's not a good thing for an army to run a country. On the other hand, there was the immediate danger of the country devolving into more chaos and a civil war, which would have been a horror for North Africa and the Middle East. But the army as an institution is still going to have to submit itself to the progress demanded by the people. And that's the driving force right now for over 2 years in Egypt.
Well, the talk of a democratic transition in Egypt, is the military coup, do you think, an appropriate way to have gone about getting rid of the head of the government and transitioning into something else?
Well, I'm not sure it's the best way to do it, but when you're in these kinds of conditions, revolutionary period, you see nonlinear developments, because people are demanding the rights for themselves and their families, sometimes the vehicle chosen is not the one that you would have thought of. Now, in many developing countries, the military set up by previous history has become the most stable institution, and therefore there is a recognition that maybe the military could move or hold things together. But they won't be able to hold things together unless there's actual real progress. If people don't have jobs, if people don't have food, if people don't see a future for themselves and their children, then no institution is going to be able to hold things together except through repression. And repression has not worked.
All right, Lawrence Freeman, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.